Welcome to my channel. In today's class I'll be showing you how to cut this contour skirt. I'll be making my 3/4 length, which is 28 inches in length. So I folded my fabric, which is the first thing you need to do because we are not using pattern. We're just cutting directly from the fabric. So I check out my measurement. Since the length will be 28 inches, the hip will be 44 inches, the waist will be 34 inches. Then I divide each of these hip and waist measurement into 4. I'll be dividing them into 4. But when I come to the hip measurement for the front, I'm going to minus 1 inch because I am making a contour skirt. I want it to be so fitted to my body. So the first thing first, I go and mark the length of the skirt, which is the first thing you're supposed to do when making a skirt. Then I use my ruler and rule to get a straight line so that you know the length I'm working with. From that waist down to the hip is 8 inches, which I'm marking now with a straight line too. That is the line for the hip measurement. The hip depth, that is waist to hip, is 8 inches. So after dividing my hip by 4, I got 11. I minus 1 inch, which is 10. Then I mark, add extra seam allowance, which will make it 11 inches. Sorry. Then I go to the hip, the waist measurement, the waistline. Since it's 34 divided into 4, I got 8.5 inches mark. Then I added extra 2 inches for the dart allowance and the seam allowance. So for the hem, I use the same measurement for hip, then I minus 2 inches from it. And I use my ruler to mark my curve rule to curve and shape out the markings I've made. So from the hip to the hemline, I remove 2 inches from there before joining it so I can get a perfect curve. So the waistline, I mark out the darts which I got from so after the whole thing, I'm cutting it out. Cutting it out right now. So now I folded the back, folded it into two to cut the back. After folding, I placed my front panel on top of the back so I can trace exactly the same shape by the side. But then by this at the center back, I need to bring out the zip allowance and the slit allowance at the bottom part. So because I need to make it a contour, the 1 inch I minus from the front panel, I am going to add it here at the back, at the center back. See, at the hip area now, I added 1 inch. Then I take my tape down to 8 inches so that when I curve, I'll just end my curve at that 8 inches down there. So I curve from up down to that 8 inches. I'm trying to smooth out the curve so that it will look realistic. Then I'll add extra 1 inch for the zip allowance. So I'm adding it down to where the slit will start. So I measure out the slit measurement. So from the hem to down to where I want the slit to be, I think I use 12 inches so that when I'm done hemming the skirt, I'll still have like 10 inches to work with. So this is it. Then I will now proceed to cut out the shape I've marked on my fabric. Remember, I got the dart markings through my bust point measurement divided by 2. That is how I got my dart markings on the skirt. So I added half an inch so that when I fold the 1 inch, I will result to 3.5 inches. So now I notch the dart point and the center front so that when sewing, I will know exactly where the dart falls. So I cut open the slit because it's supposed to be open and not folded. So this is what it looked like. So guys, please subscribe to my channel